And we are live doing the countdown. And we got some Sparty gear. Let me actually move
hold on.
Closer.
What is that on your hat? That's a Michigan State Spartan, boy.
8-0 Spartans. Can't wait for the first.
How about those
BCS
Florida Gators,
bowl.
though? You're also a Florida guy, aren't you?
Okay, they suck. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of loving two teams. Is that if one is down and the other's up, you're golden.
Wait, can we do that in the NFL? Is that allowed?
Yes, it is.
It's probably like
however,
page 4,000 of the handbook.
Yeah. However, you cannot be a fan of the Washington football team and another team. That's only for the other fans.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Not this one. 8-0 Michigan State, huh? Cool.
Michigan
Must be nice.
Do they get ranks in the first one, do you think? They're top 4? You gotta go quick.
Probably top 5.
All right. Well, we're going to bring you the day after reckoning, talk some Washington football team here right after our intro.
Thomas is in. Touchdown. Touchdown, Washington. Lofting one. He's got a man. It's McLaurin in stride. Touchdown, Washington. Has it back. Chase Young. They're chasing him down the sideline. And Chase Young has a Washington touchdown.
And he does the.
Just like, come on.
That makes me laugh every time.
That deserves a wow.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the day after reckoning against the Denver Broncos, the Denver of Thieves. And we had another one stolen away from us. I'm Nathan Perry here with Ref the District. And of course, my hosts are with me as well. We got Trevor.
What's up? Another Monday, another loss.
Another wearing black.
I'm just here. Yep.
Morning. Compliments our Spartan wearing friend owner in the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. If one team's not doing well, you got to jump on what other team is doing
fair enough.
well.
Celebrate the victories, the small things in life. That's fair.
You know what's pretty sad?
Okay.
And this is for audio listeners. Our intro, we show highlights of last year of Antonio Gibson running and scoring touchdown. Chase Young looking like the predator that he quote unquote is, returning a football for a fumble for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. It's kind of sad that those are more exciting than what's been going on in the current season of 2021. So
yeah. It's been a year. And we're definitely going to be talking about that because I have a theory that I want to share with the guys here.
Theory.
And we'll get to that in just a little bit. This is Day After Reckoning. We stream this live the day after at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Then you can listen, as Trevor mentioned there, on your favorite audio platform. And we are sponsored by Pacers Running. So as you're running away from this team because you can no longer support them, check them out, whether or not it's in person at one of their 6 locations in the D.C. area or Northern Virginia, or you can check them online. Pacers Running will get you set up with the right shoes for every run. Pacers Running. And we're also sponsored by you guys. Make sure that you're liking, subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, sharing our content with people. We appreciate that. We've got some people in the chat right now. We got Patrick.
What up, P-Dub?
He's here day in and day out, regardless of what Washington might produce on the field. He's asking, hail to Washington football team. What's up, guys? And we, of course, got Mama Stores.
Yo!
Mama Stores in the house.
Yo, hey, fellas, I tweeted this out yesterday, too. I picked up I worked yesterday, whatever. She called me after I got off work and said she watched the entire football game because she normally doesn't. She just watches highlights or gets her stuff from me. Yeah. And she said, I'll make this quick. She said the one thing that stood out to her the most, and this is her first time watching an entire game this season, is that Taylor Heineken, she calls him Heineken on purpose because he plays drunk all the time. Apparently,
That's fair.
Only targets number 17. And she hasn't been following, as close as we have. And she saw that just from watching one game yesterday. And that's been the MO all year. So
she did better than me. I actually walked away. So I watched Chase Young strip the ball and give the ball back to the offense.
Yep.
And I stood around, and then for a couple of the first few tile play, and then I was just like, I'm done. I'm just, it's not going to happen.
Right.
We had a neighborhood gathering with
Right.
bonfire and drinks. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go and I'm going to enjoy my
Halloween,
my family and my friends. And that's what I did. Patrick,
we're
disappointed, but still a diehard fan. Yeah, I think we all are. We're all very disappointed, and I do know that there are several fans who are walking away. As I'm kind of joked about it with the sponsorship message there, but I think more of us, and we tweeted about this today. I think more people still care about the team, right? I think most of us are going to still tune in 2 weeks when they play against Tampa Bay, and we'll be mad come that Monday when they get another L.
No, we're going to win that game.
That's what you say every week.
Hey, you got to. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, a little behind the scenes of Ref the District. And every week we have this on Day After Reckoning. We have this where people can DM us and call in, whatever you want to call it nowadays, video into our show. And we send it out to all our loyal listeners and followers and all that. And usually we got a lot of people like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And last week we had 5 or 6 different people calling. I didn't get one response from anybody this week
because it's
nobody.
The
The what's the word? Apathetic.
Apathetic is the word. Yeah, apathy is
set in, and it's a little early. It's right. It's not. It's barely Halloween, and everyone is already out.
That's worse for a team than hating, right? Like if you hate the team, if you have that kind of passion, you're still talking about the team. You're still doing things. That part is still there. But then, if you're talking about just being apathetic, that's a problem, because now you're not watching the games, you're not paying attention, you've stopped listening, and this is where maybe our listenership goes down. Sports shows across on the radio channels, they've noticed it, right? When the team does bad, people stop caring. They don't want to tune in to listen to this kind of talk over and over again.
Yeah, because what else do they have to say?
Yeah, and they need to turn it around and get to winning, and they have 2 weeks to figure out how to do that. Because let's face it, these last 2 weeks, they didn't know how to. How many times did they get into the red zone, or at least close to it, 30 yards, within 30 yards, and come away with nothing? Right. Abysmal. And honestly, I've been giving Turner a pass for more so than Taylor Heineke has been doing. But I've been giving him a pass. Yeah, I've been giving him a pass for a while. I didn't really like the game plan yesterday. I did not feel like that was a winning game plan. Now, granted, there was a few plays that just weren't executed correctly.
As always.
But just overall, it was just like, this team can do so much better. Like, what are they doing? Now, granted, you can't trust your kicker, who you just signed on after cutting a guy who you also didn't really care for, but at least he made 85%. He didn't have 3 blocked field goals,
but he had
2
3
weeks.
misses almost.
Yeah,
I tweeted out. I think it was a little underappreciated tweet, but I was just like, it's okay if you miss Dustin Hopkins. He does too.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah,
he does too. He's gonna.
I saw a tweet. They were like, he made all of his kicks for the Chargers. What did he kick?
No, he had 3 extra points and 1 field goal.
Okay,
but he made them all. And our kicker didn't. Right. It's the same old story with guys that you're frustrated with. If you're going to dump them, who is it that's going to take his place? It's okay to be mad at D-Hop for missing kicks and not being as consistent as you'd like him. But if you dump him, be careful what's going to replace him. There are guys sitting on couches at home for a reason. There's a reason they're not on teams after tryout after tryout after tryout, and they don't get signed and everything. And D-Hop, 1 tryout, signed with the Chargers, and now he's their kicker, and he's probably going to be there for 5 or 6 years.
I wouldn't say 5 or 6 years.
How the heck are you going to take a kicker who hasn't kicked in a game, not an NFL game? He's never kicked in an NFL game. He hasn't kicked in a game in 5 years.
Bro, I don't know.
So
I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't get it.
That was a crazy
kicks
decision.
must have been amazing.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, of course, you got to think those practice kicks. They also didn't have the offensive linemen all standing there to block the kick with their helmets. Now, I know some people analyzed it, and it was just like it looked. I think the defensive player did bat down
whichever.
Those balls,
it wasn't going,
but it doesn't matter. It was still low enough to hit him in the helmet.
Right.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a kicker who misses the same amount as Blewit's kicks have been blocked, or what it is right now?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Blocked or missed or whatever. If you're going to miss 3 in 2 games, that's unacceptable, whether it's blocked or missed. Is that what you're asking?
Think I'd rather the misses over the blocks, because the blocks have the potential to be even worse, right?
Those drive me crazy.
Yeah.
A block can be potentially, a blocked field goal. Like you can pick that up and it could be bad.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'll take the one that actually gets the ball above the line
and goes way to the right or way to the left.
I'd prefer a kicker who can actually make field goals, do what they're paid to do. But right now, the Washington football team is devoid of players who can do what they're supposed to do. Right.
Well, okay. Go ahead.
The defense is coming alive.
Yeah.
And they might need that going forward, because the offense is where we're talking about. There's a devoid of talent, and the offense took a couple big hits this week on that O-line. It looks like they might be without their starting center, Chase Roulier.
Yeah.
Who?
No, they're definitely without.
Yeah.
I like
first
Tyler
reports
Larson.
came out fractured fibula.
I like Tyler Lawson.
I mean, you never heard of Tyler Lawson until
Larson
until
really
week 3 or something.
He did really well in preseason. He's a nice serviceable backup. I think we'll be okay. I mean,
probably
with Taylor
centers are
Taylor like this.
You don't have to be great at center to be serviceable.
He's a good blocking. Now Chase is a very good blocking center.
Yeah,
but as far as getting the snap,
Chase does more than just block and snap. Okay, Chase is the one who also sets protection.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big reason why the offensive line was looking a lot better than it was previously. And I honestly believe losing Chase on the O-line is a bigger hit than losing Sheriff.
Well, for sure, because we're used to losing Sheriff. We lose him once a year. I mean, seriously, we do.
But you were talking about, Nathan, you were talking about earlier about Scott Turner not calling a good game. And I agree. I don't think he called a good game, especially there was one drive where we started at like our own 4, something like that, or 3 or whatever. And immediately it was a pass. And we had a holding, I think. So we went back to the 2. And that's not that big of a deal. But then although I do think on that first play we threw a first down. So it was the penalty hurt. But then first down again, pass. Second down, pass. Third down, pass. Just like last week, the week before, and the week before, the running game is working. Why are you not running from your own 2-yard line? You just keep throwing it and keep throwing it. And so that's where I thought we had a little bit, the game plan wasn't quite working with these guys. However, I will give them a pass in this, especially if you look towards the end of the game. You were without your number 1 quarterback, your number 1 tight end, your number 2 and number 3 wide receivers, this is who you were without. You were without your starting right tackle, your backup right tackle, your starting right guard, your starting center, and at some point late there, you lost your starting left guard. That's why the offense has been bad the last few weeks. You're already on a quarterback you shouldn't be playing. And then you've lost most of his weapons. You've lost most of his protection. And sure, these guys are NFL players and it's a next man up league, but they're backups for a reason. We talk about that all the time. They're backups for a reason. Trevor.
Yes, Stoner, I agree with you. We are a very unhealthy team right now, and that is a huge contribution to why we suck. But I have 4 words for you to explain why it's not just that.
All right.
Mike White,
Mm-hmm.
and Trevor Siemian. Okay.
Okay.
So we're in the same position as they are now with our second string quarterback, except ours has actual starting experience now. And the other two, I forgot the other two words, Cooper Rush. All three of those people don't have as many starts as Taylor Heineke.
Okay. Here's your answer. Oh, I was waiting. You had something else.
No, go ahead. What's my answer? Go ahead.
Here's your answer. Cooper Rush has Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, whoever their tight Schultz or whatever his tight end is. Schultz. They have the
all right.
Zeke Elliott.
Scratch him. Scratch him. Go to Mike White. Who does he have? Who does Mike White have in New York?
Oh, he's got Jamison Crowder. He's got Michael Carter.
Jamison Crowder.
Look, these guys aren't great.
He said it with a
straight
face.
They're not great,
too.
but they're starters.
Straight face.
They're starters.
Keep going.
These guys are starters. And in New Orleans, you got Kamara. You've got Michael Thomas.
Who is receivers?
I think I don't even know if
he didn't play
or whatever.
He didn't play.
Traquan Smith.
Really?
They've got starters playing around them. Now, Cooper Rush plays again next week, and the week after, and the week after, and the week. They're going to get crushed in most of those games.
I have a feeling
and Mike
Cooper
White,
Rush
they're going to get crushed in most.
They're not going to get as lucky as they were against Kirk Cousins.
But my point is, Taylor Heineke should not be getting shown up by 2-3 guys who are on the bench their entire career when he has more starts and more game time feel to it.
I don't know if he has that many more than Trevor Siemian.
Well, not Trevor Siemian, okay, but Mike
he
White.
played
in the past 2 years, though, more than Trevor Siemian. I mean, his name is Trevor Siemian.
But again, let Mike White and Siemian and Cooper Rush play 5 or 6 or 7 games, and you're going to find out why they're terrible.
Maybe not.
You can win a game here, and you can win a game there. Look at what Dallas was last year without Dak. Look at what the Jets are without. You know what I mean?
So what my biggest point is, there's no excuse why Taylor should be making the same mistakes over and over again.
He's
every week.
Not good.
Exactly. So go to Kyle Allen, which is my next point.
Your third stringer? That's your solution?
You traded a 5th round pick?
It's time.
You traded a 5th round pick for him?
It's time.
He's under Scott Turner and Ron Rivera's system his entire life. Give him a chance.
We just need someone who can throw the ball.
What are we accomplishing with Taylor Heineke right now?
What are you accomplishing with Kyle
Allen? Other than his moxie? We don't know yet.
I've taken away this kid's moxie. I'm tired. I'm not.
The moxie card.
He has moxie. Come on.
He does have moxie, but I'm tired of bringing it up. I am so done with Taylor Heineke. I am also ready to just. It's time to move on.
Ridiculous, bro.
Let him. Good thing he's got this like $3 million deal. He can ride the pine. He can stay a backup. I think that he's a good backup. You bring him in, and those emergency things. He said earlier last week, right?
Yep.
He said that he plays better when he has nothing to lose. Well, he just lost. He needs to lose the starting job. So that way he has nothing to lose again, because right now he has something to lose, and it's his starting job. And I honestly, I just don't know. I don't have a good reason anymore, Stoner, to not pull the plug on the Taylor Heineke experiment and try infusing somebody. And honestly, what it is with Taylor Heineke, and this is so frustrating. Those passes at the end of the game might as well have been Hail Marys. And that was from what, the 25-yard line?
Mm-hmm.
Like those things
really
were like lobbed up there.
Yeah.
That like those look like passes I would make as a 36-year-old who doesn't play in the NFL. And he's out there, tossing these lame ducks where our wide receivers don't even jump for the ball.
Because they don't have faith in Heineke. Look, all right, Stone, let's hear it.
Well, I'm not defending. I'm not defending Taylor Heineke. Okay. Go all the way back and
you're
watch
defending the
all
move,
of our shows.
You're defending the move.
I've never liked Taylor Heineke.
No one on this podcast is part of the hype.
I've hated Taylor Heineke.
But you're defending the move of doing it, aren't you?
I'm defending the move of in the same light as Dustin Hopkins.
No!
If you're going to cut a guy, not cut in Taylor Heineke's case, or bench a guy, you better be careful of what's behind him. They're behind him for a reason.
We know what's behind him. He played for us last year when Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins were horrible.
Yeah, and
so we know what we have. The thing about it is Tampa Bay in the playoffs put this vision in Ron Rivera's head that we've got our guy. And now he's realizing week after week when Taylor gets us down there with his legs, but when we need to throw the ball through the air to get points, we can't do that in the red zone. It's now starting to realize, maybe we should go to somebody else. Taylor can't get us points. You got to do that. It's time, Stoner.
Well. Listen, Ron never said Taylor was our guy. He signed him to be the backup. He signed Ryan Fitzpatrick to be the guy. Okay,
yeah,
so already he said Taylor Heineke is my number 2, and now all of a sudden he's your number 1, and you have to figure out how to win with him. You can't win with Taylor Heineke on a consistent basis
at all right now.
I've always said 2-6 with the team as a starter. Well, I guess 2-5 as a starter.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's 2-6 because he lost the game. No, he didn't start the first game.
Oh, okay. Right. But Tampa was a start if you count last year.
Yeah, so at least 2-6.
He may have started the Philly.
I think he started.
It's time, man.
The last game of the year.
He started Carolina, I think.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing also, is that this year is no different than last year. Yeah. If you look at the record, last year we were 2-6. This year we're 2-6.
Okay.
Last year we thought, well, wait a minute, this division is poop. Dallas at the time was 1-7. Philly was like 3-4-1, I believe, and the Giants were 2-6. I might have different numbers for different teams, but the point is, all of a sudden,
the NFC least. It was bad.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Ron was like, "We're 2-6, but we got a shot. Yeah. We got a shot to win this division." And the expectations changed. But it's the same thing as last year. You're 2-6. The difference is the Cowboys are now 6-1, and you got no shot. So now
we have a shot.
Now it becomes evaluation for next year. Now it's going to be they're probably going to play Hudson more. Maybe you're going to see Reeves. Maybe you're going to see.
Did you
Everett.
just say the E word?
He said the E word.
Well,
I didn't say the E word.
If it's time for evaluation, bring in Kyle Allen.
And you're going to evaluate him for what? That he's going to be your
quarterback? Because we need a backup quarterback for next year because Taylor's not going to be here next year, bro.
Same reason as you would do in the preseason. You need a quarterback who you can properly evaluate the other players. And right now, you can't evaluate these other players with Taylor Heineke. He's just not getting the ball out. Look at that fourth down, that early fourth down, where he held on to the ball too late and passed it to RSJ, who did not give a full attempt at catching it. I'm not going to let you off the hook there, RSJ. We're going to eventually get to Jazzy's question in there. I brought it up because it kind of tied in with this evaluation piece. But you can't evaluate a player when your QB, who everything operates off of, is playing that poorly. He needed to get rid of the ball earlier than when he did on that particular play. And then you just look at the game overall, and there was multiple times that was the case.
And you know what I think? Since Mike White and Trevor Siemian, they're backups, right? They came in and did what they were supposed to do as backups, and that's win the game. I don't believe Taylor Heineke can even do that. If we had a franchise guy here and something happened, he was a backup, I still don't think he could do what Trevor Siemian and Mike White did, which is
he's done it twice.
Against who?
Against the Giants and the Falcons. He's done it twice. Okay.
Barely though. I just don't believe it. I just don't see it. He's done.
Right. Well, give Siemian and, like you said, give Siemian and Rush and Mike White 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and they're going to be really, really bad. Trust me on that.
Tom Brady was a backup until Tom Brady was a backup, and now looks. I'm just saying. But go ahead. Let's go to the evaluation part.
But the point is that for every Tom Brady, there's 100 Trevor Siemians and Taylor Heineke.
Nice name.
I was about to say Taylor Heineke.
There's 100 Taylor Heinekes. There's one Tom Brady, or maybe there's 2. Maybe there's another guy like a Kurt Warner who just comes out of nowhere as a backup and fills in, and next thing is a Hall of Famer. Yeah. barely happen.
Or
The Taylor
Chase
Heineke's,
Daniel.
the Simeons, the Chase Daniels, the Colt McCoys. There's a gazillion of them who can win
Man's
a game,
made like 20
maybe
million,
two.
and he's
Yeah,
taken,
bro.
like,
But they're-
5 snaps.
but they're
And he's
they're
won
terrible.
every time, I think. All right.
But yeah, so maybe they're
sucks.
going to do that with evaluation. But I mean, again, they see these guys. They saw them in OTAs. They saw them in training camp. They see them every week in practice. Khaleke Hudson, Khaleke, whatever, had 2 plays. You saw one of them, right? You saw one of them when he got absolutely smoked, right?
Yeah.
That's
Game
why
suite
he's
is
not
different
out
than
there.
Practice suite. Yeah, because they don't. It's practice
Right?
really tells you nothing.
But
with guys like that. With guys like that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, how do you know if they're any good or not?
They're going against the same offense every day, and when they see somebody else, it's totally different. So of course they're looking in practice.
Okay,
They're
but
playing
that's
against
what I'm
Taylor
saying.
Heineke.
Everyone wants to see Khaleke Hudson. They want Khaleke
I don't know
Hudson.
why.
Khaleke Hudson.
Yeah,
He comes in for 2 plays. One of the plays
he's
he gets
bad,
burned for a
bro.
touchdown. Right.
He's bad.
So
He was brought here to
why
fill the Buffalo
is it?
role, and we don't even use the Buffalo role with him. Like so.
Well,
why
now
do we
we're
why
really
is it-
playing Landon Collins in that role, and
Yeah,
Landon
so why
Collins
do we
actually
even-
Hold
playing
on.
very well in that position.
Yeah, and he's on the trading block, so which is
So why
fascinating.
is it
No one's gonna
that
pick him
you
No.
this backup is, come on, he's not any good, obviously.
No, I know.
But the third stringer, you're thinking, well, we need to bring in a third string quarterback. That'll take care of everything.
who's had starting experience? And he's won games.
And he's
Here's
what,
the thing.
like
He's won more games
he's
than
a
Taylor
running
Heineke.
quarterback.
1 in 8.
Don't get me
in
wrong.
his career. Or
Kyle
something?
Allen's not a good quarterback. I'm
But he's
not
better
making
than
that
Taylor.
argument that he's a good quarterback. What I'm making the argument is that he can actually make some NFL throws
Thank
that
you.
Taylor Heineke has not been making.
Thank you.
I
That
do
is
think
the
Taylor
point
Heineke adds a dynamic right now, especially because
of his legs.
Kyle Allen used to be a little bit mobile, but he was
I'm gonna
injured.
look this up.
So I don't think that he's as mobile. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's third string. And I think that's one of the reasons why Taylor Heineke is playing. But now's the time to pull the plug. Give
you.
Kyle Allen those starter reps. Ron Rivera is not giving them a break. They are practicing. So why not give Kyle Allen 2 weeks of first string reps to get him ready for Tampa Bay?
Yep.
Okay, I mean, again, it's one of those things to where if you make the move, I'm not going to be like, "Well, what are you doing? You're screwing up the season."
I think the only reason
I'll
why
be
you
like,
don't announce
whatever.
that, by the way, the only reason why you don't announce it is for the small
So you can
competitive advantage
surprise.
against Tampa Bay. Have them practice and for Taylor Heineke, which is just having someone like Mama Stores out there at playing QB, and then you're like, oh wait, they actually have somebody who can put some zip on the ball.
Just saying.
So
Kyle
we're
Allen
talking-
is 7-10 as his record as quarterbacks as a starting quarterback.
Again,
Just
not a good quarterback, just somebody who can help out the offense in a way that I don't think Taylor Heineke's shown that he can do, at least over these last few games. When's the last time that he's really shown that he can move this offense, and not just move, because the offense had been moving.
Yeah.
They've done a good job moving into scoring position. When's the last time Taylor Heineke's shown that they can score touchdowns consistently?
I think
The
it was
Atlanta
back at
game.
ODU. I think it was his senior year at ODU when he threw for like 6 touchdowns. No, I'm just kidding.
Mama Stores with a response.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
In the game, and let's just take the second half of the game.
Okay.
Let's say Russell Wilson is in there for Washington.
Okay.
And he's got McLaurin and Dax Milne and Adam Humphries and DeAndre Carter and Ricky Seals-Jones.
Okay.
Is he doing that much better with that cast?
Yes.
He's doing better for sure. Right?
Way better.
But Heineke just right now, Washington just doesn't have weapons because of injuries. And that is hurting them just as much as Heineke's poor play. What about the first half of the season when they were putting up the points? When they
let's just go back to Thursday Night Football
real
quick, where you had a QB who'd had no weapons. Like they were starting players that had the wide receiver core for Green Bay was decimated.
Right.
They still managed to win that game.
Okay, Russell Wilson was the wrong quarterback.
You're absolutely right.
That was a Hall of Fame.
Right. That was the wrong.
Okay, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
We would have won.
If Ryan Fitzpatrick was quarterbacking this team in the second half of yesterday's game with those weapons and that depleted offensive line and a banged up Gibson, is he leading this team to victory?
Yes, he did it in Miami. Were you not there? Were you not watching those games? They had no weapons in Miami, and he did the exact same. He did that. He won games in Miami. They won 10 games.
I have to say he gives the team a better chance. That's the reason why they signed him, right?
He won 10 games in Miami.
The reason why they're not putting points on the board is because of Taylor Heineke. It's not because of the weapons around him. RSJ has been very serviceable. Too. I will eat the crow on that one. Okay, I'm
10
not
wins. Look at Stoner; he's so upset.
I'm on record saying RSJ is not. I didn't like RSJ, but I'll tell you what, he's a great move tight end, except for that one play where he decided he just didn't want to catch the ball. But he honestly has impressed me. That's a serviceable tight end. Terry McLaurin is a top 15 wide receiver.
Correct.
You have,
and that's it.
Yeah, and realistically, the other guys are Jags or less, right? But Gibson, McKissick are good running backs, and good serviceable running backs. Gibson's hurt.
But the point is
4 yards a carry.
But the point is, if you have an intact offensive line of starters, not backups and third stringers.
The O-line's really banged up.
And you have your top weapons. You have Logan Thomas, who is an end zone threat. I don't care what Nathan and Jet and EP likes to call him. He's an end zone threat. He's a top 10 tight end. If you have a healthy De'Ami Brown, if you have a healthy Curtis Samuel, and you had these, you've never had a healthy Curtis Samuel. But at the beginning of the year, they were scoring points. Their offense was very good. Taylor Heineke was throwing for 300-plus yards. Remember that stat at the beginning of the year?
By the way, he did it once. He threw for 300 once.
275-plus yards. Remember that stat we had? Like he's the first player in history, or the third player in history to, over his first 4 starts, to have so many yards and everything. He was getting them into the end zone. Then guys start getting hurt. Logan Thomas goes down. De'Ami Brown goes down. Gibson
The coaching staff tries to turn him into a game manager.
Sheriff goes down. Cosme goes down. And now he's not scoring. Now
how many points have we scored? How many points have we scored since the Giants game?
I have to look it up, but I can look it up.
Can you real fast?
I can. Well, you guys keep going.
That was 30
the Giants
points
game might not
be right.
The Atlanta game, 16, they scored quite a bit.
We scored 16 the Chargers, 30 against the Giants, 33 against Atlanta, 22 against the Saints.
Are you looking at it, or are you?
No, I'm just remembering now.
Okay.
13 against Kansas City and 10 against Green Bay. 10 against Green Bay and 10 again against. So we really haven't been scoring points like that, Stoner.
At the beginning, but you talked about it at the beginning of the year.
We scored 16 our first game. We scored 30 our second game.
Yep. 21 against Buffalo, 34 21. Against Atlanta, 22 against New Orleans. And ever since then, it's been 13, 10, and 10. And that's
what's league average. Look that up. Tell me what league average is before trying to tell me that they were putting up points with 3 touchdowns.
22 points, I don't think is a lot.
No. That's not putting up points.
Oh, I think I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but I bet you the league average is 23, 24, maybe. I bet you. I'll look it up.
I'll bet you $1.
What's the number?
I'll bet you $1. It's higher than 24.
I like that.
League average.
The league average is higher than 24. I'll bet you $1.
Throw my broke pockets in there too. I bet $1 I don't have.
I'm not gonna take that bet.
Not gonna take it?
You're
so certain, Stone.
Halloween was yesterday. You're so scared.
Yes, I am scared. I'll look it up here though.
All right, he's going to look that up. Let's get to Jassy's question as we're talking about evaluating things. A lot of fans are thinking this right now. A lot of fans are already looking towards the draft and trade deadlines coming up. So Jazzy asks, do you think it's time to start trading some players to try to get some extra draft picks?
23.5. I totally should have bet that. 23.5.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but you didn't.
Just like your dollar.
Okay, maybe I didn't win $1, but I won all the dignity.
Ooh,
back to the
fine. The question, is it time to start trading some players? For me personally, if our division schedule wasn't at the end of the season like it is, yes. But we play the whole division the last 5 games. I know Stoner 6-1 doesn't mean anything, but crazier things have happened. You never know with Dak Prescott and the injuries. You never know. 6-1 is cool now, but they are the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't think we should trade players right now. Maybe not our good players, at least. Maybe some ones that we probably reached in the draft, like Khalil Hudson. Maybe, something like that.
Nobody's going to.
Jeremy Reeves. The answer's no. The answer's no.
Think of the other side. Who's going to trade for Khalil Hudson? Who's going to trade for anybody on this team that's not good?
I don't know. So I would not do it. Like, we're 2-6. We'll get a good draft pick just because of our record. We're not going to.
What's his name? What's his name? Von Miller, a Hall of Famer, still pretty much in his prime. He's a little bit past his prime, but still a stud. Got a second and third rounder.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
we got Kyle Allen for a 5th rounder.
Yeah, but that was also in the offseason, not at the trade deadline.
I know.
That's a little bit
okay,
different.
So don't trade anybody. If you do, Landon Collins. But what are we going to get back for him?
You're not getting anything for Landon Collins because of salary.
And he's playing good ball right now, so keep him. So to answer EP's question, no. Draft picks, no. We can.
Would you trade? There are a couple of guys who do hold value.
Right now, that can help us right now.
Would you trade Deron Payne for a 3rd rounder?
No,
which I don't think you can get for him.
I'd trade Tim Settle for a 3rd rounder.
Or you're going to get a 5th rounder at best for Tim Settle.
Yeah, probably.
Take him, and you could
Sweat would be another one who you could potentially
maybe a 3rd rounder. Maybe a 3rd rounder.
So no,
probably not.
I wouldn't. Brandon Sheriff, he's injury prone. We're not going to get nothing.
Nobody's going to trade.
No one's picking up Sheriff while he's not playing games
and without a contract.
Yeah, dog.
Without a contract.
No. Curtis Samuel, same. No, he hasn't played a lick of season. So
we also just signed him this offseason. I don't think they're flipping that.
These are all questions popping up in the comments. By the way, sorry, we're not.
By the way,
putting them up.
I do want to say something about the Curtis Samuel deal. We do have sources.
You have a theory?
No, we have
sources. We got sources.
Anonymous sources.
Yes, we do.
That obviously they're anonymous, so we're not going to tell you who our sources are. And they're like they're like third hand sort. This is like third person source.
We got sources.
We got sources. That's all you need to say. Move it along.
One's tall, one's small.
Listen.
One's named. Wait.
One's favorite color is bluish green. I think they call it teal. And then the other one likes to wear Adidas. Aquamarine. They like macaroni and cheese. All right, go ahead, Stoner. Sorry, go ahead. Kraft macaroni and cheese. Not
Curtis Samuel may not be as hurt as he's saying, as he's letting on.
And I've started to believe that after they played him the Atlanta game and they quote unquote said we pushed him a little more than we want to do due to lack of personnel. So
why isn't he seeing the field then?
Because he doesn't want to.
But why?
You think he doesn't want to, or do you think? What do you mean
he's G'd up? He got his contract.
You know what G'd up means?
He got his contract, and he no longer has the drive and determination to be a great player.
Do you know what G'd up means?
Well, I mean, the derivation. Yes, I do. But in the sports world, it has its own meaning.
So
you got
so
your
the
money.
Man got paid, and he's won to sit this one out.
So do you think it's because of the quarterback that's throwing him the ball, or just because of the organization as a whole, or
I'm sure all of that plays into it.
Well, he's got.
Why am I going to go out there and risk for what's
Taylor
going
Heineke.
on with this team and Taylor Heineke and all this other stuff. I got my money. I've got my money, and I'm not going to push hard anymore. I spent those years working my tail off to get where I want to be, and now I got my money, and so now I'm just going to basically put it on cruise control.
Mr. Perry.
Yes, sir.
You look very intrigued by this. Is this a hot take?
No,
I mean,
this is from a source.
It comes from our sources, who like aquamarine and
macaroni and
all
cheese,
this other stuff that
and
we were
macaroni
doing. I don't know. I mean, I believe our source, right? Like, I believe where we got this information from. They definitely have more of an inside track than we do.
100%.
But I just don't see. I guess you do see this all the time, right? A player gets paid
all the time.
and then they stop, caring as much. They don't do the practice as much. I just feel like he wanted to come here. He wanted to play with Terry. He made, he played
Ryan Fitzpatrick
well
was
in that.
Probably a good.
He having a quarterback that can actually throw the ball helps. But he played well in that Atlanta game that he only saw 25 snaps, right? It was like 4 catches for like 20 yards, but those were 4 impact catches. I think 3 of those went for first downs, right?
Yeah, they were huge.
I mean, yeah, and he just played with Teddy Bridgewater last year too, so he must really not like to play with Taylor Heineke. He must see something that we don't see.
Yeah, I mean, we can't
tough.
get inside his head. We don't know what's going on at the facilities. We'll
see what happens in Tampa Bay. Yeah. If he comes out and plays lights out like he wants to be here, then we can just thank the source that we have that likes macaroni and cheese. But and put it to bed. But that's a very interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting take. He got the Ben Simmons syndrome. Show up to practice, not doing nothing.
Yeah,
he's capable of doing it.
I mean, it's similar in the fact that I can kind of do what I want because I have my money. Now, Simmons, of course, wants out of town. That's what he wants. But
if 25 snaps against Atlanta was too many snaps because our receivers went down, what was the snap count for him then that they wanted him on if 25 was too much?
I mean, who knows?
Could be 20. Could have been 20. Could have been 15. I'm not sure. It would have been pretty interesting to see where he would have been. Hey, if you want to, you can go ahead and call into the show. All you have to do is DM us on Facebook or Twitter. We'll shoot you a link and you can join us. In fact, we're going to get someone on, someone you might already be familiar with. Another content creator. Football Addicts. Steve, we're going to give you the big screen here, man. We're going to make you
feel so welcome.
Make you big and large. Thank you for joining us here on the day after reckoning. Is it time to pack it in? Is it time for Washington? We're talking about Curtis Samuel. Just put him on IR and start,
trade away some people and start
selling high and moving on.
I'm on that boat. I mean, it's time to start looking at 2022, right?
I mean, we were 2-6. We were 2-6 last year, Steve.
Is it time already, though?
Well, I think I'm almost ready for Kyle Allen time, to be honest with you.
Hey, thank you.
Right there with you.
Yeah,
not this guy.
2 of the 3.
After the bye week,
Kyle Allen, start with that?
Bring back my man.
Who?
This guy.
Hey, nice shirt, dog. Yeah.
Bring him back, and then it's hard to evaluate players. I'm not bashing Taylor, but if Taylor's not going to run, we don't need Taylor.
Yeah, because that's his legs are his best asset, not his arm.
Absolutely.
And he had that one good run, and then he never ran again, right?
Yeah.
He never ran again.
Fortunately, I missed most of the game play-by-play because I was out trick-or-treating with the kids. But I caught everything on the replay. I watched the highlights, and man, it looked from you guys probably watched the whole game, but from what I saw, it's almost like they were trying to give us the game back. And we just didn't grasp it.
I've never seen a team like Denver just actively try to lose a game. That's including Washington in all of our years, where there was a lot of bad teams that actively try to lose game. Denver, literally on that last drive of theirs, was like a fumble. They recovered. They were trying stopped, and then they fumbled and they lost it. And it was just like, oh my Lord, like Washington could actually do something. And then Taylor Heineke throws up some ducks, and you're just like, actually, Steve, I didn't watch the whole game. I was also out trick or treating. I came back, and then I walked away before the ending because I knew what was going to happen. Because this team just disappoints us week in and week out. What was the most disappointing part of the game yesterday for you?
To me, is when that Melvin Gordon fumble, I want to say, was inside their 30, and that was literally them handing it back over, and all we had to do was do something. And 3rd and 6, Taylor takes that sack, which you can't take that sack. But even at 3rd and 6, do you take the sack? There was no timeout. They didn't call timeout. Like, where was the clock management at the end of the game? It's almost like he just gave up. That's what, that was very disappointing. I did like to see that Jared Patterson was nice. We got our first glimpse of Jared Patterson, so
that was nice.
Little bright spot.
I think you're going to continue seeing more Jarrett Patterson as we go forward, and we definitely have some Jarrett Patterson fans in the chat.
Yeah, we definitely.
So, Steve, do you make any trades before the deadline tomorrow, or do you just ride it out?
I would try to move Sheriff. He's not coming back. Move that guy. I would try to move Landon if you can. I would. That's probably. I don't buy anything. I'm selling, and I'm getting draft picks. I'm almost doing what the Nationals did, maybe 2 months into the season. And you're just banking, you're evaluating, but Sheriff and Landon, I would probably try to unload. I know.
However, Steve,
yep.
Who's going to pay for a broken down non-contract Brandon Sheriff and a not very good, except for the last couple of weeks, humongous contract in Landon Collins? Nobody else wants them.
Even if you can get a 6th.
Yeah, that's probably the best you're going to get for those.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get. I mean, if they leave in free agency, you can get that compensatory pick. Sheriff would definitely be a good compensatory pick. But, yeah, you're right. Landon, I don't think either of them can get – it's just like people saying they were going to trade who was going to be – he traded here recently, but they didn't want to pick up the contract. I'm having a brain fart. Excuse me. There were talks about someone being traded, and then no one wanted to pick up the contract. So,
yeah.
I can't think of it, but yeah, I'm a seller. I'm not a buyer.
Yeah, for sure. But in the NFL, it's so much different because you don't have, like in baseball, you have all of these prospects that you can choose from who are up and comers, and you're getting ready to bring them up to the big leagues, and they can help you in the future. In the NFL, you don't have that, so you're either trading for a pick, which are extremely valuable in the NFL.
Unless you're the Rams, in which case you just give those away like they're candy.
Oh, I wish we were in that position.
McVay is making moves. He doesn't wait.
No,
he doesn't care about the future. He cares about the next 5 years until Stafford is aged out and Donald is old and all these guys. Von Miller is old. Then he's going to be out of a job, which is great. He's probably got 2 Super Bowl rings by then.
So, Steve.
Yeah, we'll go to
my bad. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but Ron Rivera says they're going to use these bye weeks to start evaluating because apparently they haven't done it in the first 8 weeks yet. Do you honestly think that Ron Rivera and Scott Turner will see the same thing that us as fans see from Taylor Heineke and go to Kyle Allen by the time Tampa Bay rolls around?
I think they will, because I said it before on your show before. I swear Kyle Allen is Jay Gruden's Colt McCoy and Ryan Grant. Like, that's his guy. And I think he's just not healthy enough. I can't understand why else. Or he's just deliberately jockeying for draft position and we just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like tanking without tanking, but I'm playing my guy. The fans love him. We're not tanking, but because last year, clearly, he saw how bad the division was, and they just went all in. Look what the Eagles did in Week 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on, Steve.
Thanks.
But we're gonna beat Tampa Bay.
Hey, he says that every week.
Jameis.
Trevor Siemian can do it. Taylor Heineke can do it. Okay.
Or Trevor Siemian's still playing, but
yeah, right.
So.
All right,
we appreciate you.
You can
check out Steve
Steve.
on
Thanks,
his own channel, Washington Football Addicts. They usually stream Wednesday as well. So you can catch our show Wednesdays at 7 and then tune over to theirs right afterwards. So thanks again, Steve.
Thanks, fellas. Enjoy the bye week.
Yeah.
Decompress, and we'll get back at it here versus Tampa Bay.
Yes,
all right, buddy.
Have a good one.
I'll see you, Steve. Man.
Go-goes and no-goes. We ready to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go that, and then we'll do the
dollar.
I'm gonna close our lines too, actually, because it's coming up on 50 minutes here. Go-goes and no-goes, real quick with your go, Trevor.
Jaret Patterson. We got a glimpse of what he can do when he gets the ball in his hands. He's fast. He's shifty. He's strong. He's a bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jaret Patterson. He looked
love
good.
To see it.
Made a name.
Stoner, who do you got?
You're gonna hate me when I say this. Don't scream at me.
I can't wait.
Look, I know it's the Broncos. I know they're terrible.
Oh, jeez.
Jack Del Rio had a good game plan and really, for the most part, stopped them.
Yep. Defense
and over the last few weeks, they haven't had any of those crazy plays over the top. No. Guys are just running free. No. They fixed something in the back end.
Teddy Bridgewater's not exactly the guy who's going to be passing the ball.
Of course. Again, I prefaced it with it's the Broncos and they're not very good, but still.
Did we have any
they executed a good game
calls yesterday? I didn't check any of that. Did we have any PI calls against us yesterday? There we go.
I don't even know if Kendall Fuller played. I barely saw him, which is good. When you don't see it,
what you want.
That's a good.
He did play.
Or William Jackson. William Jackson didn't play.
Yeah,
that's and maybe that's where the communication issues lie. 2 weeks in a row. My go-go. I'm going to give it to Chase Young for giving the team a chance. He had a better game. Not the greatest game. I think Landon Collins probably had a better game overall as a defensive player. But Chase was the one who got that stripped the ball to give Washington a chance with 20 some odd seconds, 30 some odd seconds, or whatever was left on the clock there. So I'm going to give him my go because without them, Denver just runs down the clock and we're mad without being mad, at reasons for the team's ineptitude. So
and shout out
Chase Young.
Shout out DeAndre Carter too for a nice over the shoulder grab and the touchdown. That was pretty.
And shout out JD McKissick, who does what JD McKissick does, which is catch balls and make plays. He had 8 for 85 or something like that. I mean, jeez.
He didn't slip this time. Ladies in the chat are pretty happy. Jazzy with the go on Jaret Patterson, and Mama Stores happy with the Chase Young pick.
Yep.
So I already looked. His pro football score, his PFF score was not the lowest of the ones.
I think it was second highest on the D. I think
it was pretty high there. All right, let's go for the no-goes. And I'm gonna take 2 off the board right now. All
2? Right? That's cheating, 2. Trev, he's cheating.
Yep, I know he is. He's right there.
All right,
you know what we did? You know what we do to cheaters? Hey! For the audio listeners, we just removed it from the stream.
Blue and Heineke are off. Right? Those are too easy. Give me someone else who was a no-go.
Oh wow!
I got one. If you want to think some more, Trev.
Yeah, I will.
Catch the ball, Bobby McCain. Yeah, that was the easiest interception in history. That could have changed the entire trajectory of the game.
Yep.
Catch an easy lob right to
that pick 6 so bad he forgot the ball.
So Bobby McCain is my no-go. That was the media's fault. He didn't catch that, by the way.
I legit got yelled at in my own home
that's the
for
one.
Being too loud. When he dropped that ball, I get pretty loud. I was told this is a house, not a stadium.
That's a good one.
Oh wow!
And I'm sure the neighbors heard. I'm surprised
none
of the neighbors mentioned
Sunday.
When we're out around the bonfire, because
look, if they didn't know what you were bringing to the neighborhood, then they should move out then, because
they should move out.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to happen every Sunday.
That's right.
So my no-go I didn't really get to see the game much, but just going by stats.
Mhm.
Seven targets, 3 catches, 23 yards. Our number one wide receiver, Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I can see by stats that he would be a no-go, but Mr. Heineke was not giving him many chances to catch the ball. He was lollipopping a lot or just way overthrowing him. It wasn't the case where the week before maybe he had a couple of drops or whatever.
Yeah.
These were not drops. Those 4 that he
just,
didn't get, they were just bad throws.
And 23 yards, were they just like, I guess, short, dinky, dunky?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one really good one across the middle that was probably 12 yards, something like that. But
he had a rush for 12 yards too, I saw.
And yeah, which was a nice rush. There was a bubble screen that if he had gotten it would have been nice, but Heineke was nowhere near him on the bubble screen. It was like he kind of came over the cross to get it, and the ball was like way over here behind him.
Calling those bubble screens.
Why can't they do
Taylor Heineke?
He's not good at
getting the ball.
Nah,
he can't see maybe over all these guys coming.
I don't know what's happening with those. I'm going to go with Sadiq Charles as a no-go. I think that he played. That might be a little harsh on the guy.
Yeah,
he played all right, I think, in the first half, but he started getting pretty abused there towards the end.
Was he a third rounder?
Fourth rounder, but
fourth rounder.
Yeah. Remember, people talked of him as if he was a steal. He had first round talent and all that.
Because he came from LSU, and that was all
one of those ones. It didn't look good. He did not look as good as it could be. I think it's time to pay up.
I ain't got no money. I'm broke, dog.
Yeah,
that's the current situation.
God.
You're working backwards, Trev. So the dollar board right now. So as Stoner pulls out the board for to actually go one by one, this is the rundown for our audio listeners. I'm currently in the lead at $16 because I do make bets. I just make the smart ones. Stoner is climbing back up in the ranks at $7. And Trevor continues to work his way into the center of the earth with his tally, and he's at negative 15. Thankfully, these aren't real dollars for Trevor that we're passing around here. These are
I will say
this.
At some point, somebody needs to audit this because last week I swear I was within $6 of Nathan, and now I'm
9.
Behind by 9, even though I only lost $1 total to him this week. So
last week you lost ground on me last week.
Last week I think I had a really good week.
Not last week. No, I listened to that podcast just before while I was doing this one.
Oh yeah.
So you can, feel free to audit, by the way.
I'm just making stuff up probably.
Feel free.
All right. So here's the dollar. Here's each one real quick.
Okay.
Both Trevor and Stoner. And I knew I would regret going with Trevor on all these bets, but sure enough, me and
Halloween.
Trevor said Chase was going to have at least 2 sacks.
How many did he have?
I'm not sure. He hasn't even had 2 sacks on the season, and we're 8 games in. He's got 1.5 sacks on the season.
1.5 sacks.
I'm riding with it every week.
So Nathan went against that. So he took that bet.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I messed up. I should have won this bet.
Okay.
Well, and you were with me on this, and that's Trevor was with me on this, which is probably why I said Tressway would average 53 yards per punt, right? And then I went and made the stupid statement of saying net average, not gross average. And if I hadn't said that, or if I had said gross average, you guys Nathan probably still would have taken it. But he averaged 66 gross, but had a 15-yard return on him. So the net average was 51.
Okay. Well, hold on.
Won that
hold on. Washington Football Addicts. This is probably Steve who we just had on. In the comments, FYI, even if you finish in the negative on Jeopardy, you still get third place winnings.
It's $1,000K. Yeah, $1,000. Yeah.
Keep going, Trev. So
1,000K's was done it, but
keep going, Trev. Hey,
I'm good.
I'll take your money.
I'm in the money. Show me the
Stoner
money.
said Kyle Allen would take a snap. Both Trev and Nathan said no.
He's taking one in Tampa Bay. I don't care.
Now here's where things start turning in my favor and Trev's favor and against Nathan.
I got a
Nathan
favor?
said Heineke would have 300 plus yards.
What do you have?
Not 300.
260 or something. I don't know. Stoner and Trev both won that. Trevor said Milne would have 3+ targets. He had 2. He had 2 targets, 1 catch.
That catch was nice too.
Only Stoner took that. Nathan didn't want any part of that bet.
He had 270 yards, by the
Dax
way.
is coming.
30 yards short.
270.
Yeah.
He's coming.
Well,
Dax is coming.
I wish he wasn't.
Dax is coming.
Nathan said Patterson would have at least 1 touchdown. Both Stoner and Trevor said no.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
Not. Although it was trending that he was going to.
He had the most carries. He had 11 carries, 46 yards.
And then Trevor said that Danny Johnson would have an interception, and Nathan and I both said no. So for the week, Nathan was up 2, Stoner was up 1, Trev was down 1.
Hey, that's not bad.
And all the scores, a real quick reminder, Redskins Weekly, who was in the chat, said 24-21 Washington. Mm-hmm. Kimbra Perry said 21-17 Washington. Nathan said 26-20 Washington. And Trevor said 31-17 Washington. Stoner was the only one who picked Denver, and I said 23-22. But to be perfectly transparent, the only reason I selected Denver was because everybody else selected Washington, and I didn't want to be on that same bandwagon because I truly thought Washington would win.
We were supposed to.
Should have.
There's the dollar. We got some stuff to promote because we got some big stuff coming this week.
We do. Let me get my theory out, and then we'll do some promotions and close up the show here. So
Nathan's theory.
We talked a lot about this being disappointing. Fans, including Steve, already looking forward to the future. People thinking this is rock bottom. Not quite there yet, guys, by the way. If the Tampa game's coming up in 2 weeks, if you think right now's rock bottom, just wait. When they don't trade for anybody, or they do trade and they don't get the value you think that they deserve, or whatever, and then they lose to Tampa Bay in humiliating fashion.
44-7.
Now we might, now we're talking this. We might have some rock bottom talk. Here's the thing. I think people are just really passionate about this team, and we got our hopes up, right? Last year, the expectations, we've talked about this before. Ron talked about this, right? Coach talked about it. Expectations were set really high. We went into training camp and we thought there was a lot of positive energy going around. And Stoner, you said it. You brought this upon us. You're like, where's that energy going to be when they're 1-6, when they're 2-6? And here we are, 2-6, and it's gone. The team just isn't performing to the level that fans thought they were going to. Last year, there wasn't really this kind of level of hope and excitement. People were like, okay, this is a rebuilding. We're going to see what we have in Dwayne Haskins. Ron is a good coach, and we appreciate what he's bringing in. People are already turning on Ron. People are turning on the players because the team's not there. But I think what it comes down to is just simply the reason why people think it's rock bottom right now is because they set their hopes too high,
right,
and past realistic standards. I think that honestly, this is going to get uglier before it gets better. I still think that there's winnable games on this schedule. A little less so now that they lost against Denver. Still very, very mad. And I told you guys I was going to be mad this day after reckoning in a way that I wasn't the past 2 losses. But I do still feel like there's pieces here that they can turn this around, but I just don't think that it's going to happen, and we'll see. I'm not exactly sure Ron's full statement on the whole, hey, we're going to do our part, and then if fans want to be with us. I don't know if you heard that one from his press conference, because we know a lot of fans are jumping ship.
I'm not jumping ship.
I'm not jumping ship. I'll be here.
I'm not jumping
ship.
It's
the bye week. We're practicing during the bye. So, hey, that's a good thing.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
Always be here.
And we hope that you'll be here for some of this great content that we're going to be producing, and let Stoner take it from there as far as promoting what we have.
Yep, 100% agree with you, by the way, Nathan. 100%. The expectations have changed people's attitude about the way things are going, for sure.
That
all right, so
NFC East Championship.
So Wednesday, we've got a major guest coming on the show Wednesday for our regular show. JP Flame from the Junkies is going to be on the show. We're going to talk about something big. Can't announce what we're going to talk about because he's going to make an announcement tomorrow on their radio show. But we'll talk about it, of course, tomorrow and Wednesday on the show. So that's a really big deal. Now, do we want to talk about the other thing that we're doing?
No, not yet.
Not yet? We don't want to announce it?
Nah, dog.
I think we'll announce it on Wednesday's show.
Yeah.
We'll announce it on Wednesday's show. It's a really
big series coming up. We'll announce that. It's a after the whistle series that we have planned.
And it's bigger
you're not
than
going to want to miss it. It is
bigger than big.
4-part series. We're excited for it. We hope that you'll tune in for that.
It's going to be good. I can't wait. Looking forward.
And it's going to be important. That's
okay. All right.
Say that.
Okay.
All right. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough teasing.
I'm just saying it's important.
Our source likes aquamarine and
macaroni and cheese.
It's not going to be our source. I can tell you that.
It is not our source. All right. We do stream live on Wednesday. That's where you're going to catch us next. And this is a DC sports podcast. Our normal show is at Ref the District. So we will talk some about the Washington football team, but it's time to talk some Caps and some Wiz, who are both playing this Monday night here. So we can't tell the Stoner exactly what's happening. He's predicted
Bradley
a loss
Beal
for
just
the Wizards.
twisted his ankle.
Oh, see?
What
now
are you
you're
pulling
doing
a stoner
it.
for?
What are you
pulling
doing,
a stoner for, man?
Well, he got hit in his nuts, and he sat out like 2 games after that. So I mean, he's injury prone.
See?
All right. Moving things along. You can catch us on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch channels when we stream live, or you can catch us on your favorite audio platform, wherever that may be, as if it's Google, Apple, Amazon, or Spotify. We've got you covered.
Everywhere.
We're sponsored by Pacers Running. For every run, run with us and support us. We appreciate it. Everything that you do, you guys keep us going. And every comment, like, and subscription just helps support the channel. You can even go out and purchase some of our
get some of that swag.
Rocking one of our shirts here today. Just a simple tee. Just let us know that you're supporting us. We love to see that kind of thing. Because hey, we do this because we love the team and we love you guys. And I love these 2 Yahoos with me. I'm Nathan Perry. Here with me, we got Trevor.
What up, guys? Or I mean, so long, guys.
So long, guys. And the Stoner.
Are we going to start all over? Do it again?
Yeah. Nope.
I didn't like the way that. I didn't like the way that.
Do the exit. And until next time, be a fan.
Okay.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are Ref the District. Podcast. Come on now and join us.